Hey guys, welcome back to Cody Tarot. I'm your tarot reader, Cody. So for today's pick a card, we have 6 groups before us, but let me tell you what the reading's going to be about. So the reading's going to be about your crush's personality. So this is basically for those of you who kind of have a crush on someone, but you don't know that much about them. Like maybe you just met them, or maybe you've had your eye on them for a while and you just want a little bit more information on maybe if you guys are compatible or not, or what their personality's like, or you just kind of want to know what you're going to get yourself into basically by liking this person. Like sometimes it helps to know the personality of the person to either help you get over them or to like them even more, or just to decide if you want to keep pursuing them. So this is going to be going over your crush's personality. So maybe if there's something that you didn't know about this person, it'll come to light in this reading. So let's get into the reading without further ado. Just want to thank you guys, first of all, for all of the new, what am I trying to say? For all of the new ideas for pick a cards and suggestions on the channel, because I have a whole list now of all these suggestions and stuff to choose from. So that's really cool. I will never run out of ideas again. All right, so let's get into the reading. We have 6 groups in front of us today. I think this is the most groups I've ever done on this channel too, interestingly enough. But yeah, I'm gonna show you all the groups individually, one by one, and then after that we can move on with the reading. So we'll show you them all close up since they're all pretty small crystals, and then that way you can choose which one you wanna choose. So here's the first one. This is the silver Moonstone. The next one is the yellow Apatite. There's some red in there too for this one, but that's the yellow Apatite. The next one is the blue Kyanite. The 4th group is the green Jade. The 5th group is the Lapis Lazuli. It's a pretty dark blue, some gold in there. And the last group, the 4th group, is this Tiger's Eye Heart. So, take all the time you need to pick your crystal. You can pause the video here if you need to. And without further ado, we are going to get into the reading, starting with group number 1, the silver Moonstone. Okay, you guys, so this is group 1 if you picked the silver Moonstone. So let's get into your reading. We are going to be shuffling on camera today. So I'll start with a Spirit Animal Oracle card. And basically this reading is basically just to get the general personality of your crush. So this is meant to be kind of for people who don't really know what about their crush, or what personality they have, or what's deeper sides to them are. So we'll get some information in that realm. We have White Raven Spirit, trust in the magic. Next, I'm going to be pulling, I haven't used this deck in a while, but this is the Oracle of 7 Energies deck by Colette Baron Reed. So I'll be using one of her Oracle cards to get some information on more about this person's personality. I mean, the whole reading is going to be about this person's personality, but the power of purpose. And for pile 1, we need a Whispers of Love card to talk about how they express and experience love. And we have Demonstrate Love, find out what is important to those you love and act on it. And we'll get some tarot cards about your crush as well. Let's make sure all this stuff is aligned nicely in the camera. You have a nice, pretty, like, organized reading to look at. Okay, let's flip over your tarot cards. Okay, so let's get into the reading. So, first we have White Raven Spirit, Trust in the Magic. This person is kind of the type of person who really surrenders trust into like magical workings or spiritual workings. So they kind of believe in investing into these things or using these things as kind of like investments. And I want to say the word investment specifically because it's not so much that they have kind of like a spiritual outlook. We kind of see this here with the Three of Cups and the Knight of Cups both reversed. They definitely keep this side of themselves to themselves. They're not really like they're not going to be the ones to kind of show off that say they like to watch tarot readings or that they like to, that they practice spirituality. But like on the inside, they're truly spiritual and they do trust in the magic of the universe and everything around them. They believe in kind of the interconnectedness of things. You can say that this person is very internally spiritual and therefore kind of like can get what they want. We do have a Pentacles, a Wands, and a Swords card. So other than the Cups energy, they're pretty much in balance most of the time. One thing, interestingly enough, with Power of Purpose, right above Two of Swords, we have this thing where with their intuition, they do kind of trust their intuition, but because Knight of Cups and Three of Cups is reversed, they kind of keep this side of themselves to themselves. This can also represent a social side of themselves. This person might be very introverted. Weirdly enough, with the Six of Wands card, they're very much in the limelight. Like they have a high place in society, or they're recognized as like in being in a high position. Like they're kind of an authority in their field, or they're really renowned and popular. Something about where they're like they're in the public eye and they have a lot of recognition. But oddly enough, they're very introverted. They're not social at all. And they're not the most romantic. They're actually very like logical. We definitely see with the Knight of Pentacles too, they're slow and steady. They're very methodical persons. So they definitely take their time in approaching people, situations, and events in their life. That makes sense. With Trust in the Magic, this is like a wait and see type of card with White Raven Spirit. So this person is very powerful. It's a very powerful individual spiritually. But they don't let on that they are a spiritual person. That's the kind of key point here. And really this kind of cycle of turning their spirituality inward creates this with this Power of Purpose. You see this like kind of cog, right? And I don't know what this stuff is around the outside. Like it's just little like pieces of like flowing fabric, I guess is the best way to look at it. But I'm definitely seeing that this cog kind of represents kind of like the fact that their life keeps churning forward slowly and surely. This Nine of Pentacles energy is very much that slow and steady wins the race type of vibe. Other things about this personality, this person really, when they're in love with someone, you'll know this person likes you back based on if they take an active interest in your interest. So if you're interested in something specifically, or you have a passion about something, they'll take an active interest in that. So that might contradict a little bit with their personality. Like for example, if you're a spiritual person, they will take an active interest in your spiritual pursuits and your spirituality, but will still maintain their own strict privacy with their own spiritual values and beliefs. Yeah, I'm definitely noticing that whatever it is, and doesn't have to be spirituality, but if you have like a certain band or music that you like, or you like cooking, or you have a certain hobby that you like doing, this person, if they really have a crush on you, they're going to take an active interest in that hobby with you. They kind of, that's how they show love, is they kind of show love through like taking an interest in the things that you enjoy doing. Now, the interesting thing with the Power of Purpose here is they have a lot of like, how do I put this? Persuasion over other people's choices. So with Two of Swords, is this like the decision card, right? And it usually represents being at kind of like a crossroads where you can go one way or another way. And it usually represents having to tune into your intuition to make a decision. It's kind of like deciding things by an intuitive stance. And interestingly, with this blindfold, it always represents kind of like, it kind of can represent like not seeing where you're going. But with this power of purpose, this person kind of ignites that purpose in others because they're so kind of like wise. You can think of the white raven as very wise. And so their ability to ignite purpose in others is like paramount. You can think of this Six of Wands position as kind of like their achievements of how they got here, but this is kind of the methods of how they advanced. The one reason they're so admired is because they really have the ability to tap into like other people's, I don't know if instincts is the right word. They tap into other people's desires and they kind of figure out what would make them have a purpose, basically. And because they keep all this magic within them, right, they can use it as kind of like a spark or a fire, like an energy to like stimulate those around them. Interestingly enough, they themselves are very slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race types, but they can create people in their environment. They can make them kind of very decisive. So make sure the camera's still on. They make sure that other people are like making the right decisions in their life and making decisions in alignment with their purpose. So they really kind of ignite I don't know if passions is the right word, but they ignite clarity in others. You can also think of the Two of Swords card with like the Ace of Swords as kind of like a card about clarity and enlightenment. You can think of the Two of Swords here as kind of like a card of like two people's mindsets crossing paths, or like, so it's kind of like they're able to use their mind power to help others like find their purpose, right? It makes sense why they'd be interested in the hobbies of other people, because they're very focused on what other people's wants and desires are and what their passions are. Yeah, and that's how they kind of ignite them to have their own purpose. I'm definitely seeing, though, they're not the most romantic of people, so don't expect kind of like a lovey-dovey connection from this person. Like maybe if you are thinking about them or if this person is your crush, they're not the types to like reciprocate too many romantic feelings, and they're not that social. They're not going to be like going out with you to parties or going out in society with other people and like partying all the time. They're not very like social like that. All right, so that was the reading. If you picked the Silver Moonstone. Moving on to group 2. Oh yeah, forgot my little outro. If you like the reading, you can like or comment below. If you really like the reading, and subscribe to my channel. I post pick a cards like this once every 1 to 2 weeks, sometimes a little more frequently. Just depends on my mood. But yeah, we're gonna move on to pile 2. It was lovely reading for you. We're gonna move on to pile 2 with the yellow apatite. Hello, pile 2. This is if you picked the yellow apatite. Let me see if that's in focus. Yeah. So, yeah, let's get into your reading. So this is going to be your crush's personality. If you don't know too much about this person, this is going to give you the 411 on what they're like. This moth spirit is sticking out to me. This card comes out a lot in readings for me, actually, interestingly enough. Okay, let's pull this is the Oracle of the Seven Energies by Colette Baron Reed. This is also a Colette Baron Reed deck, actually. We have a lot of her today in today's reading. What? Okay, this one just wants to come out. Seeing Beyond. And we have these Whispers of Love Oracle cards. That's going to show like how they show love. This kind of like is going to give some indications on if they are like attracted to you, like if, you know, if they like you back or what the deal is with that. And we have Speak the Language of Love. Loving words have the power to change lives, including your own. And then we're going to get some tarot cards. sure everything's all nice in the screen for you guys. Definitely getting some heavy like third eye chakra energy. So this person might have some psychic tendencies. Let's flip over the tarot cards. Two of Swords reversed. Interesting, these cards in the same sequence came out for the last group. Well, sort of backward sequence, but. Interesting. Gosh, this is a very interesting person. Very, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's almost like contradictory vibes to them, but they're definitely an interesting person indeed. Okay, so the person you have a crush on, here's a little bit about them. So, Moth Spirit Surrender now, we're gonna kind of like get into this. This ties in a little bit with the Justice card. Okay, so first of all, this person with Moth Spirit is kind of like attracted to danger. I guess is the best way to put it, like the moth to the flame, you know, that always comes up when I'm getting the Moth Spirit. Or like being attracted to the light or being perplexed or moved into this light situation. So this person definitely, like with this Justice card in reverse, like this person has set up for this lifetime to kind of like, I know this is going to sound weird, but they're experiencing a lot of like bad luck or negative karma, because they're learning to like, I guess, face and like head towards like destructive forces. So this person's definitely like more attracted to danger. I guess that's the best way to put it. We'll just keep it as simple as that. They're attracted to danger. They're attracted to dangerous situations, dangerous people. And danger is like a really like relative term. Like danger for them, it's basically they're just attracted to stuff that basically could destroy them. They like to get close to it. But I'm definitely seeing that it might not just be like one person that they're attracted to, but kind of like dangerous social situations. They might keep like kind of company that's kind of like I don't know, I don't want to say the word criminal. They definitely keep the company of people who are like a little bit more like, maybe they're ruder than most normal people. They have like more of an attitude than other people. They kind of like hang out with people who are kind of like running those kinds of circles. Interestingly enough, they're not really like that as a person. They're actually like, weirdly enough, they're kind of like the ringleader of this group, that they're a part of. And like the group is kind of like mean, or they might have a mean sense of humor, or they might be destructive individuals. Like they might be friends with people who maybe have like a drug problem, or they might be friends with people who have like a psychological disorder that could be kind of dangerous. Like they might have a few friends that have more like sociopathic tendencies. This person definitely flirts with the darker side of reality. They definitely, because they're seeing beyond with their third eye chakra, this person definitely sees the fact that like there's a lot of darker aspects of the world, but they also see the fact that there can be good in these aspects. They can be good in these people or these situations that they're attracted to. It's interesting because they definitely heal these people and speak the language of love. This is all about affirming loving words to those around them. So they're very loving and caring in their words. And this is specifically with words only, not really actions. Like you can be loving with your actions, like with acts of service, like that love language. But this is definitely with words. This is more like a words of affirmation situation. And definitely because they can see so clearly into others, they know exactly what to say to them to motivate them and get them to like be better in their lives. The thing is though, with this Justice card, this does not always work out. It's like they're trying to save people. They're trying to kind of be the savior for like people and kind of help them through difficult times, but they're just really attracted to the dark side of life and darker people and personas. But it's interesting, because of this Three of Cups and this King of Wands vibe, I'm definitely getting that this all circles around their social life. Like they might keep a lot of people around them that are kind of like, how do I put this? Like they might keep a lot of like uncouth people around them, or like people who are more like rude or like unsophisticated around them. What we see here with the Knight of Cups, so this person is very charming. They're like very charming and your people like this person a lot. But I definitely see that like people are like definitely burned by like their friends, kind of like, because they're attracted to so many like, think of like the worst aspects of like flame or fire energy. Especially with this justice card reverse, they're helping process with other people their bad karma and like getting them through that and like kind of getting them on a different track. Yeah, with this Two of Swords card, it's interesting because this person does not make the best decisions for themselves. It's interesting. Their intuition is really strong. And this is really just to cancel out the fact that like normally Two of Swords I read is like a card where you use your intuition to make decisions. I'm definitely seeing their intuition is really good. So it's perplexing me as far as like why they don't make, it's not really like good decisions as far as judgment's concerned. It's just they don't know what decisions to make. Like they might have trouble. The reason I think their social circle expands so much is they might have trouble narrowing down like romantic interests, or they might have trouble narrowing down like the people they want to keep in their life, or the people that are not good for them or that are good for them. They have a hard time in that way kind of setting boundaries. So even though they like do have struggle with setting boundaries, I definitely see that their social circle keeps expanding. They definitely keep a lot of acquaintances around them. You know, this could be the type of person who's like almost like the compassionate leader of like a gang. That's kind of the archetype that I'm seeing, is like someone who's like a very compassionate person to like help others, but the people around them are all kind of like, uncouth is the best way to put it, I guess you could say. They definitely have a strong leadership vibe, and they're ready to take action. It's just that they do have trouble like making those decisions and like knowing what action to take. So they're ready to move, but they want other people to make those decisions for them. So it's very interesting because they're definitely the more compassionate one in their friend group. But the thing is like they let their friends make their decisions for them. That might not be the healthiest thing for them, to be honest. But definitely they let their friends kind of make their decisions for them. There's a situation though with this speaking loving words to these people, and because they see so clearly into them and their personalities and who they could become, you know, with just the right tweaking in different areas, they definitely succeed a lot of the time in making these people like better people. So that's really good. Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, so that was your reading. That was this person's, this is your crush and what they're like, and little secrets about them. And this is kind of determines if you want to be in kind of a relationship with them, I guess, or if you want to know different things about them. One thing to know if they like you, it's interesting. They'll speak loving words to you. Like they'll definitely be saying a lot of sweet things to you. That's one way you can tell if they really like you. But I'm definitely also seeing that this is also dealing with the fact that they are, how do I put this? Oh yeah, and I just realized this. This says surrender now, and with the decisions and the readiness, they do surrender to other people's opinions in their social circle. So they don't really keep their own opinion. They surrender over to these destructive forces as like desire. It's definitely like a mutual attraction, a mutual thing going on with destructive forces and then their own compassionate nature. But yeah, they'll definitely speak loving words to you if they like you. So that's there, if that's the case. What else? I think that's about it. I think that about covers it. That's this person, if you want to know a little bit more about their personality. But yeah, we're going to move on to group 3 now. So if you like the reading, you can like or comment below. If you really like this reading, you can subscribe to my channel. I post pick a cards like this once every 1 to 2 weeks, a little more regularly if I'm in like a good mood. But yeah, we'll move on to the reading. It was a pleasure reading for you. We're going to move on to group 3 with the blue Kyanite. Hello, group 3. This is if you picked the blue Kyanite. I don't know if you can see that stone right there. Hopefully it's in focus. Anyway, so we're gonna move on into your reading for group 3. It's interesting. I do these readings pretty late at my house. I do them at like midnight or like 1 in the morning. I don't know why, but sometimes I just get like the urge to film readings right at that time. Interesting. The moon should be coming up soon. Okay, so let's get your person. This will be your person. And I'll just flip this over right now. Scarab Beetle Spirit magic works through you. And then that was the Animal Spirit Oracle by Colette Baron Reid. This is the Oracle of the Seven Energies by Colette Baron Reid. I haven't used this deck in a while, so it's going to be fun to use it again. Let me pull from the bottom, like right down here. I'm feeling that. Okay, let's see what we got. We have a deep breath. Oh, interesting. Oh, I am sensing some energies for this pile already. And then we have, I love you. These are powerful words. Okay. I'm sensing some stuff already. Okay, so let's keep drawing some cards. Okay, if this is 5 cards, then this is, we need 1 more card, so we'll pull those over there. Last card. And most of these cards are reversed. So this person is dealing with some internal struggles. Wow. This person has so much potential. It's interesting, there is a lot of blocked energy, but I definitely didn't see right away that this is the 8 of Swords and the 5 of Cups reversed, which provides some like helpfulness, because usually the cards upright for those 2 cards indicate a little bit of like negative news. That's an interesting thing right there. Okay, so the interesting thing about your crush, they're like a very powerful person. And interestingly enough, I don't know if this makes sense for any of you, but 52 adds up to 7. And there's a 7 on this card. So the number like 77 might mean something to you, or like the number 7s, or like something having to do with, I'm seeing like lucky number 7 could like mean something for you. Normally I don't point out signs like with numerology and stuff, but it just stuck out to me for this pile for some reason. Okay, first of all, with King of Swords right here, this is a very logical person, and they think very clearly. With the 8 of Swords reversed, this represents their mind not being tied up in knots. This is my kind of like your mind's tied up in knots and you can't really think straight, and you're just like going in circles and going through different weaves and bends inside your own head, and you can't really, that's where you keep going into knots. You know, there's no flow without this, like you're getting stuck and blocked, and it's just kind of like a nightmare with that 8 of Swords upright. So the 8 of Swords reversed is a good sign. It just means that their thoughts are like flowing smoothly and clearly. So there is kind of this element, especially with the King of Swords, of like a clear mind, like a deep, like inside this person's mind is like a very clear pond, or like a clear, how do I put this? They just think very clearly. There's like no clutter, there's no debris. Their mind is like a pure vessel of like pure clarity and thought. So don't expect this person to have kind of like any kind of like tormented inner thoughts or any kind of inner dialogue that's like harmful or hurtful. This person's not going to be like conflicted that much. They're going to be very calm and serene. So the person you're crushing on is going to have like a beautifully calm demeanor. One other thing, interestingly enough, is I'm definitely noticing this with like their outer appearance with the Emperor card reversed. They might not want that much structure in their life. And it's probably because their inner mind is so structured that their outer world, they want to keep basically very, how do I put this? Like free and like not structured at all. Interestingly enough, they have this ability to kind of like, with magic works through you in a deep breath. This like really stuck out to me, especially, and it's interesting because it's 7 and 52 and that makes 7. But there is, so life path 7 might mean something to you guys, or someone being born on the 7th day. Whatever the sign means for you, you can take it as however it resonates. But with magic works through you in a deep breath, I'm definitely seeing that this person, like through their actual breathing and the fact that they can like calm their body, even though their mind is always very calm, if they calm down their body through like deep breathing and relax their body and their outer self, they can actually create like really interesting magical acts. Like magic works through them. Basically, when they become that clear vessel, it's like having like a, this is a random analogy, but it's like having a blocked tailpipe on a car. So for example, if you stuff someone's tailpipe full of dirt, they can't like, the tailpipe explodes and they can't start their car. But if that tailpipe is clear, the engine can flow freely through that vessel. So think of their body as like the tailpipe. I know this is the strangest analogy, just bear with me. Think of their body as like the tailpipe, right? So the car can't function. You have this big, powerful vehicle and this small, tiny tailpipe. They can move this huge vehicle just by keeping this part of themselves clear. So they can really move mountains, and they can really do, like if they're a spiritual or a magical person, this person could be really good with like magical acts. And they really just, make sure that, they really just, have that ability to like, once they keep their body, like their mind's already like calm all the time. Like this is the type of person who probably doesn't need to meditate that often because they just have a really clear head. They've always been able to think clearly. And that's like that's a beautiful thing about them. But through making their body calm and getting their whole vessel calm, not just their logical side and their mind and how they think, but their whole vessel, they really, really can like work magic and miracles through like the world just by being in this calm state. Their thoughts they're kind of like a vessel for like if you think of like my tailpipe example, they're moving mountains through just keeping they're kind of like this valve for other people. So as they keep themselves calm, they can de-stress their environment. I guess that's the best way to put it. They can de-stress their environment. And also with the car analogy, they can create a lot of movement in their environment. People feel free to move and they don't feel restrained anymore. So this is a very magical person. They have a lot of abilities. Interestingly enough, they're a very positive person. They're a very happy person. With the Five of Cups in reverse, they're a very optimistic person. This person really knows how to deal with any negativity or pessimism that they feel. And really, they can just handle it very well. They look at the bright side. And even though like bad things do happen to them, they're always looking on the more positive, optimistic side. You know, this is not going to be someone that's going to have a lot of problems. Like if you're the type of person who likes to help people through their problems, this person's not like the right person for you. This person is a very clear, intentional and healed. Like this person's like already healed. Like think of this person as finished. Like this person is done. They have been, I don't even know if they've been through it, but they're definitely at this point in their life, they definitely are like healed, and they're a very pure vessel, basically. Interestingly enough, the only thing that I'm seeing that's like an issue for them, that they really have like trouble with the Four of Wands in reverse, there's definitely this idea that they never think they're going to get married or that they're never going to have a person for them. So they kind of act as if like, they're never going to settle down or that no one's right for them, but they don't think, it's not stressing them out. They just kind of know that it's almost like they want to be alone. I know this is kind of like strange to say, but they kind of enjoy like feelings of loneliness or like being alone. Four of Wands also represents kind of like celebrations in the outer world. So they might at like celebrations or events or places where there's big parties and stuff, shrink into the background and like be in like one of the corners of the room and just kind of like sit with their thoughts. This is definitely, interestingly enough, with this I love you card, where it says these are powerful words. This person is very careful with how they express loving feelings towards others, because they know when they do, it creates very strong bonds and attachments. There was this article I read a while back about like oxytocin release in the brain and serotonin. So basically it was saying that like when you hug people or when you say I love you to them or share things with them, it creates a bond between you and that person. And so there's like this kind of like loving, connected, like unified bond where people will kind of like, that's where like loyalty comes from and people doing things for you and stuff like that. So they definitely feel with this love you card, they're very careful with who they say that to because they know that they can bond a person to them for life based on simply like acknowledging loving feelings towards them or expressing love towards that person. This is definitely someone who I feel like this person seems pretty basic on the outside. Like they don't seem that significant to like many people, but for the most part, some random people will be very attracted to them for like all these qualities mentioned above because they're like so stable and clear-headed and they're like a vessel for like stress to flow through, you know? Just them being calm makes everyone else calm, and that's really a kind of a cool thing. With the Emperor reversed, they definitely don't like structure and order in their environment. So that's something that is like, if you're a very structured and ordered person, your crush does not really like that. They don't really like structure and order in their environment. So even though they're very calm and they calm everyone else down, their environment's kind of like in disarray or like kind of a little chaotic. So they might have a back and forth actually where they calm themselves down to calm down their environment, but then it like orders their environment too much and they crave that chaos again. So they kind of like let their body get tension. You know, they like forget about deep breathing and relaxation, you know, even though their mind is definitely always clear, their body can get a little stressed out. They might need like, like massages and stuff where like, you know, they breathe deeply and then like get a massage. Yeah, interesting. This love you card is very like a powerful thing because they're very careful who they bond to. So if they're telling you things like they love you or they care about you, this is the type of person who wants you in their life for the long run. They want you in their life for good, for a very long time. They would be very loyal to you, and they kind of like, I don't even know if they expect loyalty, but they create loyalty with people. So it's not so much that like they expect it from you, it's that you will feel like giving it to them as they like tell you these things. So yeah, so that was this person. This was this person that you are crushing on and what they are like. If you like the reading, you can like or comment below. If you really like the reading, you can subscribe to my channel. I post pick a cards like this once to 2 times every 1 to 2 weeks. With that, I guess I want to thank you for reading, like me reading for you. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so tongue-tied at the end of this reading. Anyway, so that was the last, wow, I'm like, I don't know what's going on. This pile has like got me messed up. Like my brain's working in different directions than it normally does. Okay, slow down. We're moving on to group 4 with the Jade. Hey, group 4, this is if you picked the this Jade piece right here. So let's figure out what your crush's personality is like. So this Jade, group 4's crush's personality. Let's see, what are they like? We got Ant Spirit. And we have these Oracle of the 7 Energies. This is by Colette Baron Reed. Both these decks are by Colette Baron Reed. That's her Spirit Animal Oracle deck. And here, let's see, let's pull for this one. I'm feeling the surface for this one, like up to the surface. With the Ant Spirit, up to the surface with the Ant Spirit. The Oracle's Gift. Sometimes there's readings where you're like, you get it right away. Like the first 2 cards come out and you're like, I know where this is going. And then you get readings like this one where you're like reading these 2 cards and you're like, this is gonna fit together, but I'm not sure how yet. There needs to be more cards pulled and then I can see. So fun little fact for people who are curious about tarot readers and their process. Actions speak loudly, express your love through actions. one of the previous piles, we had someone who expressed their love mainly through just words, and it wasn't so much through their actions for others. This person's going to be very action-oriented. Okay, let's get... Okay, so let's flip over your tarot cards. You have 9 of Wands, 9 of Cups, Ace of Cups, Judgment in reverse, King of Pentacles upright. I'm kind of seeing who this person is. Let me take a little bit longer to look at the cards and get all the details fleshed out. Okay, let's get into it. So with Ant Spirit up here, with time to collaborate, this person is basically your top-notch team player. So if you are working for a company or you are looking for someone to collaborate with other people on a team or a group project, this person is going to be your person. They are very focused on working with others, and they're very even too. They want to make sure everything's fair. So they definitely have this attitude where they're very focused on if this is they want to make sure everything's fair among different people. So if they're working on a team, they make sure every single person, say they're the manager, they make sure every single person gets the same amount of rights, the same amount of pay. You know, they're the type of person who's advocating for equal pay for men and women. They're advocating for equal rights for different sexes or races. They just everyone to be on the same exact playing field, and to be able to work together. They like the fact that the workload gets shared between each member of the group. So they're definitely that type of person where if you don't have to worry about doing all the work if you're that type of person. This person definitely has this whole very team mindset, team building mindset, thinks and acts for the good of the group. Very much like an ant, in the hive, kind of serving the rest of the colony, basically. So that's kind of what they're like. This is also a very hardworking person, but they get a little butthurt if they are more hardworking than others. If other people aren't working up to the, if they're doing most of the work, or if other people are even, here's the other thing that's kind of trippy. You think most people would get upset by being the one that does all the work, but they also get upset if other people start doing more work than them. They feel like they're lacking in some way, or they're missing out on the fact that they need to be working too, or they need to be helping too. So they definitely want to distribute the work evenly amongst everyone. One thing I'm seeing with them, this is kind of coming through, they might stick at a post too long. By the time it's run its course, they're still stuck in this position. So this is the type of person who kind of if this is a coworker or someone you're working with, they're gonna stay at this job or their job for a little longer than everyone else. They're definitely very loyal and dedicated and dutiful. So one of the things I'm seeing though is that even though through hardships and trials and tribulations, they remain loyal to that rooted position. They remain loyal to their post. So even if they have hardships, if they say they're going to be somewhere, or if they say they're going to do something, they're there. They are going to stay there, and they are going to kind of make sure that they are, they're fulfilling all their duties and following orders if necessary. Interestingly enough, we have a thing over here where you think this person with all the duties and the teamwork and stuff and being a very hard worker, that they wouldn't be that emotional. But we see here with the 9 of Cups and the Ace of Cups both upright, we see that this person is, first, they are, with Ace of Cups, they are very good at letting their emotions flow. So for example, when they need to cry, they let themselves cry. When they need to laugh, they let themselves laugh. When they need to have a certain emotional reaction or emotional response to a situation. They let their emotions out freely. This is not someone to hide their feelings or hide their emotions or in a way repress them. Their emotions are very close to the surface. With Nine of Cups here, and interestingly enough, and especially with this cat looking at this cat and this cat looking up, I'm definitely seeing that like one of the aspects to them is that when they express their emotions, or the more they express their feelings, the better things get in their life for them. So with this cat over here with the Nine of Cups, this is like the wish fulfilled card, you know, this cat has like gone into this cage and eaten the bird, and it's like probably always dreamed of like eating this bird, and it finally got, you know, to be able to eat the canary, you know, in the cage. But anyway, so it's like the wish fulfilled. It's like getting what you want, you know? So it's almost like through expressing these emotions, they get and they kind of achieve emotional fulfillment. Now, here's the thing that's also a little bit interesting with them, with Oracle's Gift and the Judgment card. This person might not be the most intuitive. So this person might not have kind of like the best intuition. With Judgment reversed, it's almost showing that, and especially with this mask kind of like being removed, basically, there is an element where although they express their emotions very openly, there is an element that they don't really know their own identity. They have a hard time seeing who they truly are. They have a hard time recognizing patterns and kind of making judgments based off those patterns. So there is this element that they might need to use intuitive people to achieve things in their life. With Oracle's Gift, I'm literally seeing like an oracle giving them a gift. So I'm definitely seeing that psychics could really benefit this person. Healers could really benefit this person. Even therapists, especially with that identity, like going back and looking at like how different parts of yourself have built up your identity over time, would benefit this person. If you are a psychic or intuitive person, or you're focused on coaching or healing or advising, I definitely recommend that this person would be a good match for you. It makes sense why you would like them, because they definitely probably need your help, or your advice, your, you know, counsel. Interestingly enough, throughout their life and as they get older, they're going to save a lot of money. They're going to be very, very rich. They end up like at a place like, even though they struggle so much in the positions that they're put in, they definitely know how to make their wealth work for them, and they kind of create this cornucopia of kind of like abundance. Interestingly enough, with the King of Pentacles here, and this being like an earth element, and also with these eyes focusing around, they're very observant to the world around them, like the details in the world around them. And they're very earth-centered. So they're very focused on earthly matters. They see very clearly into these earthly matters. Like I said, with Judgment being reversed, they're not as in tune with their higher calling or what they're meant to do in this lifetime. That's why like tarot readers especially, or psychics, would be very beneficial to this person. So if you yourself are very intuitive, or you're good with helping people find their purpose or their higher calling, this would be a great person for you. They do end up very materially secure, because they work very well in the earthly realms and in those kinds of material, like with material prosperity. Lastly, this person, if you want to know if this person really likes you or not, actions speak loudly. Express your love through actions. They will do acts of service for you. They will like do things for you. Yeah, they're not afraid to kind of like get their hands dirty and like help someone out that's in need or that they care about. This kind of time to collaborate, kind of in playing fair and playing by the rules, kind of also, I don't know if playing by the rules was the right thing to say, but basically being fair and distributing the work evenly applies to their relationships too. If they see that you're struggling or you're having a hard time like they have had in the past, they will help you out. They will lift the burden off your shoulders. They will lift some of the load. You think of ant spirits and ants, they can carry, I can't remember the exact number, but they can carry so much more than their own weight. And they can just carry it for like miles in ant world, ant time, and like take it back to the colony, you know? So think of someone who's really, really strong, like tiny, but mighty is the best way to put it. So yeah, that was your person for if you picked the green jade. If you like the reading, you can like or comment below. If you really like the reading, you can subscribe to my channel. I post pick a cards about once every 1 to 2 weeks. A little bit more regularly if I'm in the mood. Thank you for letting me read for you. This is a pretty cool person to read for. And we're gonna move on to group 5 with the Lapis Lazuli. Hey, group 5, this is if you picked the Lapis Lazuli. Let me hold that up for you guys so you can see it. I don't know if you can see that. It's pretty dark stone. I noticed that my other lapis in my previous video was pretty dark compared to the rest of the stones too. It's hard to see it at night. Anyway, so here is the first deck I'm using, the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. This is to get, well, the whole reading's gonna be to get a little bit about their personality and what they're like and all of that good stuff, so. And we have Peacock Spirit, Let It Shine. Okay. All right. It's funny because I said, like, I sensed my own personality getting more flamboyant as this reading started. Like I could hear my voice sound more like fun. I guess the best way to say it. Okay, so let's see. Quieting the mind, okay. And we have Your Whispers of Love. This is kind of like how they show love, or kind of like what it would be like to see if they're showing you love. It's kind of a good indicator to see if they like you, I guess. And we have Love is All Around. There is, I can't even read this right now. There is love everywhere all the time. Simply acknowledge this as truth. Interesting. So it's a little different for this group. The way other groups that had it were like showing love, this might be a little different in this reading. Let me pull more tarot cards and just get a better idea. I was telling the other group sometimes, you know right away what the group is or like what's being represented, but sometimes it's like a puzzle and you have to put all the pieces together to see what like the person's like truly like, you know? Make sure all this stuff is. Okay, let's flip over your tarot cards. Yeah, Queen of Wands and Peacock Spirit, that makes a lot of sense. Page of Wands, interesting, interesting. The Empress, oh, okay. And Page of Pentacles, wow. Interesting. Yeah, so, okay. Okay, so this person is quite an interesting person. There are some interesting elements here. First of all, this person has very, very high self-esteem. Whenever I get the Empress card, especially upright, this person is like, their self-esteem is like through the roof. And with Peacock Spirit, Let It Shine, they are not afraid to show off their nature, their beauty, their uniqueness, especially with Seven of Wands and Queen of Wands. These are two of my cards to represent being unique or different from others. Seven of Wands, because Seven of Wands, there's always an element where one person's on a higher level than the others. And it's kind of like, if you look at this goat, like he's on this higher level above these like other angry animals and like nothing's affecting him, you know, because he's on this higher plane. And Queen of Wands is also my unique court card. It's someone who is very like social and powerful, but they have such a unique presence and a unique energy that they can sometimes be seen as like different by others. And it's interesting how this Page of Wands and this Page of Pentacles are both surrounding this Empress energy, which is just indicating that like, and this, I'm definitely seeing this is like other people, like people around this person. This is a very interesting, this is, especially with Queen of Wands, this is like a leadership type of person, but they have a very high self-esteem. They kind of like, if they're beautiful, they know they're beautiful. If they're a good person, they know they're a good person. they definitely focus on growth and self-image. Like this person is like okay with their body. Like no matter what they look like, they are okay with how they look. They have such a high self-esteem and they know their worth, basically. They do struggle a little bit with quieting the mind. They might have a very overactive imagination and inner fantasy life. Even though they do have such a high self-esteem and like a really strong self-image, they have a lot of confidence, basically is what I can say. They have tons of confidence, but it's weird because they're also very unique. They're very different from normal people. They have their own certain presence that they bring into situations, but their confidence is definitely through the roof. They also have followers. We're getting a lot of like court cards, and I'm definitely seeing that this person is, you know, has a lot of people. And it's not just like the Three of Cups where they're like social and they have a group and they kind of like barely know anyone in the group. They literally probably have like 2 really close friends or very close friends that are kind of in one of either of these categories. And because they're the queen and these are the pages, it's almost like they keep people in the student role. So they kind of help people along. They find people who need their help in like the beginning stages of life and they help them along. Interestingly enough, they expect very honest, straightforward communication from those around them. When I get a lot of like people, like when I get like nudity or nakedness in cards where there's clothing being revealed or people are revealing themselves through clothes like we have in these 3 cards, there is an element of like showing your truth to others or like revealing your inner self or your true being. And especially with this peacock spirit right here with this light coming out of the heart, there is an element of like, oh my gosh, this is another card with a crown on it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this person is like, here's the thing. They are so confident. They believe they're royalty. They're super unique and they know it. They know their worth. They don't have a lot of doubt about their self-image. They just, wow, they have a lot of confidence. They keep these people around them and they help them grow and develop, and they expect honest communication from everyone in their group. So if they have a group of people, it's like really close, intimate connections with these people, and they know everything about them and those people know everything about them. So it's like, or vice versa. So everyone knows everything about each other. There's a lot of revealing, a lot of sharing, a lot of open and honest communication. They do, however, I think though, through like seeing so much and experiencing so much of other people and having communication being so open, they do suffer from kind of an overactive imagination. It's as if they're resonating and they're constantly resonating at a frequency where everyone's individuality is always being expressed, acknowledged, and shared. And for some reason, because of that, it creates this kind of like overactive imagination or overactive mind that they need to kind of quiet their mind every once in a while because they're dealing with a lot of people's personalities. And when you get a lot of people revealing their true selves, because as a society, we're all very different. So when everyone's kind of revealing their true selves, you get a lot of different thoughts and opinions in your head, and you can kind of get this person kind of gets this kind of like chaotic kind of thing going on in their mind. They might have a very active imagination just because they're getting so much stimulation from those around them. This is interesting. It says, love is all around you. There is love everywhere all the time. Simply acknowledge this as truth. This person has a very, just generally speaking, a very loving energy. So they believe in love is kind of everywhere and in every crevice of the earth. They're definitely the types that kind of like extend like an aura of love rather than like doing specific loving acts for certain individuals or people in their environment. They have an aura of love. And so they don't really kind of isolate their love for one person or another person specifically. It's kind of like if you're going to be with this person, they're the type of person who, they're kind of like emanating this love, and the people that come around them, the thing is, here's the interesting thing. It's like, it's not a superficial love. It's not like you just go around them and that's as close as you're going to get and you can't get any closer. It's like they're, in a way, with their love, it can be seen as like keeping people at a distance. But what it truly is the fact that they're just a loving person. Like love oozes out from within them and outward onto others. And so other people kind of like people that surround a campfire and they're trying to get warm by this campfire. It's interesting with the Wands cards, you have these people, and I can get into that and some more stuff. I'm just getting a lot of information for this pile. Like there's a lot coming through. There's a lot of facets to this person too, because they're so revealing with the people around them and their close people around them, that they have a lot of facets to their personality as well. This overactive imagination, like I can even tell with me reading right now that I'm getting a little overactive in my reading. Let me focus. Okay. Basically with the love thing, they emanate love. They emanate this aura of love and acceptance and care and concern for those around them. And they're very honest and straightforward. So with these people, that makes other people honest and straightforward with them. And they have these kind of close connections that are friends. And interestingly enough, they're attracted to other people who are also campfires, who also emanate love with themselves. But they're definitely the queen of this group. They're definitely the boss of this situations. But they do have some like-minded people. What else am I trying to see? Man, I had a train of thought that I think is important. I need to get back on it. Hold on. Yeah, what I was trying to say is just because their love is not individually directed to specific people, they don't have individual moments of love with people, and they have a very broad aura of love, doesn't mean their love is any less potent or any less real. It just means that, like, that's just kind of the nature of their personality. So they might not actually be like you might not get in a way like a personal connection from them, like personal acts of love, like I'm just devoted to you. And this is not the type of person who's going to be that us against the world type of person. This is the type of person who's going to be like, it's us and us is the world. Like we are all loving each other as one big family. Like if you love me, you love like the rest of my family. You love the rest of the world. It's just love is kind of this bigger thing for them that's not really focused on individual connections. It's very like spiritual and otherworldly and kind of just like, how do I put this? They're just very much like, they just love everyone. And it's kind of like everyone kind of in turn kind of loves them because they emit this aura. With Peacock Spirit, Let It Shine, it's interesting. They definitely are not afraid to reveal themselves. And other people around them are not afraid to reveal themselves to them. There's this definitely good back and forth where there's just a lot of open, truthful communication. Everything's out in the open. But yeah, they are very unique. Interestingly enough, yeah, it's weird that they're so unique, but their love is so like broad in general. Like anyone can be loved, everyone can be loved, love is all around. But they definitely have very unique personalities compared to other people. But that's just because they're kind of absorbing the reflections of all these other people and kind of creating their own kind of paragon identity for others. Yeah, I guess that's about it. This pile, I got a lot of information for this pile in particular. It was hard to kind of like organize my thoughts. This person might have a very like active inner mind. But yeah, if you're looking for them to express love to you, it's definitely kind of like, you want to like connect with them. If this is your crush and you're into this kind of connection, and after this reading, if you like what you heard, definitely like if you connect with them, definitely like be open and honest and straightforward. That's going to help bridge your connection even further together. And just remember that this love emanates from them to like all those around them. If you like the reading, you can like or comment below. If you really like the reading, you subscribe to my channel. I post pick cards like this pretty frequently, about once every 1 to 2 weeks. Yeah, with that said, we're going to move on to the very, is it the last group now? Yeah, the last group number, oh, I can do this, 2 hands now. 6 with the Tiger's Eye. Okay, group 6, last group with the Tiger's Eye. Let me see if this is focusing. There you go. Tiger's Eye Heart. So let's get into your reading. First deck, Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. Let's see what the personality of your crush is. Lizard Spirit, dream the world into being. And then we have this Oracle of the 7 Energies, another deck by Colette Baron Reed. This is going to help me get some other information for this person. Spirit of Gratitude. Gratitude's always good. Move those up there. And this is going to show like how they show love or how they express love. And we have, consider your foundation, look at how committed you are to love. That makes sense with Spirit of Gratitude. And let's get some more tarot cards. I'm gonna shuffle one time. And we'll split the deck here. Okay, let's see, let's get this all aligned. Aligned in the screen, aligned in the camera. Okay. Okay, let's flip over your tarot cards. We have Four of Cups, the Magician reversed, Eight of Cups, Ace of Wands reversed, Wheel of Fortune. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's see. There's generally some interesting information with this person, but let me just get into it. So with Lizard Spirit, dream the world into being. This is a person who is very imaginative, and specifically imaginative with like what they're gracious for, what they have in their life, what is good with them at the current moment. So when they're dreaming, it's less a dreaming about future possibilities or things that they don't have, but dreaming the things that they already do have and kind of making them bigger and better. So this is very much about enhancement. Interestingly enough, we see down here, there is movement in their life, but they're not so good at bringing in new things. It's almost like with the Wheel of Fortune, these new things just kind of happen to them, but they didn't really manifest them, which is we see with the Magician in reverse. They're definitely more of like a person who focuses with Dream the World and the Being in Spirit of Gratitude. They focus on all the things they already have. Like with this, consider your foundation. Look at how committed you are to love. With consider your foundation, I'm definitely seeing that this person, like, they're gracious for, like, for example, their home. And so because they're gracious for their home, right, and they have gratitude for their home, somehow their home gets improved, or they get a grant for a home improvement project. And then they, like, utilize that grant, and then they kind of, like, basically build their home even stronger. Or maybe they're really athletic, right? And they're just very like gracious, like, okay, I'm already athletic. I'm good at athletics. So they dream about being athletic. They kind of focus in on the present moment and what they already have. And it's almost like manifesting, but it's just enhancing what they already have through gratitude. So there's not bringing in too much new stuff. That's what we're seeing here at the Magician Reverse. It's just about not bringing in, not going out and getting new things or accumulating new things. They definitely focus on their own things. And things that they're already good at, strengths that they're already good at. So they build up within their own strengths. In a deck that I made a while ago, there's a card called Tree. There's an oracle, like in one of the cards in the deck is called Tree, and it's an oracle card. And it represents grow. And it basically means that like, when you're a seed of a tree, you can only grow into the tree that you're meant to be, right? Like you can't be another tree. It's about being true to yourself and your abilities and your personality. So this person's kind of like that. They're focused on like the foundations of who they are, and they definitely are very much a dreamer. They like to daydream, they like to meditate, they like to do those sorts of things, but they definitely do it with this sense of gratitude about everything that they already have. Yeah, it's quite interesting in that way, how they kind of like can build up their life by like focusing on things that they have already in it and then just enhancing those things. So if they're really happy and focused on the fact that they have shelter, that they are building a home, and that maybe they're very like homey, or they're very like good with like organizing a home environment, then they just get better at it and better at it and better at it because they keep reworking that same thing again and again and again. So if they're very athletic, they keep reworking that athleticism again and again and again and again. If they're very like, say, good with science or math, they keep practicing science and math problems and they dream about it because they're gracious and like glad that they have that in their life. So it doesn't leave too much room to bring in new things. When we see that here again with the Eight of Cups, as far as Eight of Cups upright represents leaving behind things in your life or emotions in your life to move on to new things. They definitely don't like to move on to new things. They definitely focus on skills and abilities that they have in the current moment. And it also represents with Four of Cups, this is them getting new offers, like people offering new things that are outside of what they're gracious for. They tend to not accept new offers coming their way. So it's interesting. There is a lack of a sense of stagnation with this person, that they don't kind of like get out of their zone, but there is a pattern of growth where they do experience newness as far as like what they're growing into, what they already have and how that's still developing. So for example, if they start and they realize they have a fortune of small amount of money, because they have gratitude, that money will keep growing and growing and growing. Interestingly enough, the way they kind of get out of these situations and move on to different things in their life is what we see here with the Wheel of Fortune. There is this element that like certain chaotic events happen in their life, or there's certain like things, I don't want to say chaotic. Chaotic's a strong word, I guess. There's certain events in their life that force them out of their present circumstances. So it's almost like fate changes what's going on with them. So they can build up the same like idea, knowledge, they can build up the same like items that they're collecting or whatever that they are very gracious for. But for example, if they, or keep working and furnishing this home improvement project, maybe something happens to them, like maybe like a tornado runs through their village or something, and then their house is gone and they have to move into a new house. It's like Wheel of Fortune's kind of like that, like what's happening as far as like fate is concerned, and what is the turn of your luck. So it's kind of representing, like, it could be a stroke of good luck too. It doesn't have to be something negative like a tornado hitting your house. It could be something good, like maybe you applied for a contest and you win this reward and you come into a whole bunch of money, and your dream is to like live, you thinking about living somewhere else, or maybe someone like, maybe you have to relocate for work, right? And you end up relocating to a better house, but it's almost like it wasn't your choice. It was like something that was like something with the Wheel of Fortune kind of represents is like, these are kind of like ups and downs that you can't control. That's kind of how things happen in their life and how they move forward or move into the next stage of life, even though they're kind of constantly always fortifying what they already have. Another thing too, interestingly enough, there is a small little aspect with Ace of Wands in reverse, that they don't feel they have like as much passion for projects as they really should. They wish they were could be ignited to have more of a spark as far as like with projects. This could also delve into, also with the Ace being in reverse too, it also represents not starting new things or new beginnings or beginning new projects, but it also leaves them feeling very passionless. Even though they have tons of gratitude for their life and what's going on in their life, they're not really sure what drives them or what motivates them. They don't really know they don't really have something that pushes them forward. They're very content in their vibe and where they are and what they're doing. This could also represent the fact that they might feel a little disadvantaged, romantically, or in the passionate areas of romance with intimacy. They kind of don't have as much self-confidence in that area as say another person would. With this is how they're going to show you love. It says, look how committed you are to love. So this is the type of person who takes their commitments very seriously. If you are going to get into their graces, they are going to show you, well, the first thing I'm thinking of is that they like people who are committed to things. They like people who are dedicated to tasks and projects and ideas. Because they're very committed to their lifestyle with this spirit of gratitude. But they will be committed to you. They will show devotion, commitment, This is the type of person who's not going to cheat on you. They're going to want to keep the relationship monogamous. This is definitely a type of person who wants to show you that they're basically just committed to you. They're kind of a dedicated type of person when it comes to love. They treat their relationships the same way as like with the spirit of gratitude, with gratitude, and they fortify those things. Once there's someone new in their life, they fortify that relationship and make it even stronger and better. And they're just so gracious for it that the relationship grows in a very positive way. Interestingly enough, how they stumble upon these relationships is kind of with the Wheel of Fortune. It's basically just based on circumstance and things that are happening in their life, like a chance accident or something. And then they're forced to be with some new person. And then they just become really gracious with that person and have gratitude for that person. And, love that person, is very like strongly. Yeah, the last thing I can say is for this person, it feels like the things that happen in their life, the things that come to them are basically, they feel like they're not of their own choosing. But what they do choose is what they can appreciate that's already in their life. And even if it might leave sometime because of some stroke of fate, or if it might get enhanced by some stroke of fate. So that was the reading for if you picked the Tiger's Eye heart. So if you liked your reading, you can like or comment below. If you really liked your reading, you'd subscribe to my channel. I post pick cards once or twice, or once every 1 to 2 weeks. And with that said, I want to thank you for letting me read for you. That was the last pile for today. So we have no more groups, and I will see you guys in the next video, the next pick a card. Have a good day. Bye.